Hello, and welcome to this very lazy video where I'm just going to talk about Batmobiles. Yay! Specifically what I think are the top 10 Batmobiles ever. Granted, there's probably a few I've been missing, but I got a lot of these from Batmobilehistory.com. They seem pretty comprehensive. I mean, they have like really obscure toys and like alternate timeline crap on there. So I've sifted through hundreds of Batmobiles. And so these are my top 10 other than the 1989 Anton First Mobile and the animated series Batmobile, which I think are the gold standards. The animated series one being a slight variant on the 89 Mobile. So excluding those, here's my top 10. And there are other Batmobiles that I love in specific contexts. I love the Batman Forever Mobile, but it would kind of look like crap in other stories without significant modification. It works within its story. So there are plenty of Batmobiles that I like in the specific stories that are being told in a specific style. So these are the ones that I think are just aesthetically really good and representative of the Batman. On a side note before I start, 2022's The Batman is actually really comic book accurate with its cars because there's a lot of Batman history where he basically just drives around in slightly modified sports and muscle cars. All right, number 10. Well, there was the spoiler, but number 10 from Legends of the Dark Knight 200. I call this the Birdmobile. It's just a really nice balance between sporty and tanky. Because sometimes you can go too far in either direction where it looks too much like a recognizable sports car or too much like a tank or like a weapon of war. This looks sleek but really durable. So that's number 10. Number 9. The OG, the classic, the Submarine. First appearance in Batman number 5. It's just got the big goofy face on the front. It's beautiful. Does the trick. Yeah, it looks like, a Cadillac whatever from 1942 or whatever, But it's goofy, but also badass, which I just love. Like, this thing looks like it could just drive through a wall. And then Batman would get out and adjust his tie, because he was probably wearing one at the time. Number 8. This thing from DC Online Legends. I think this would honestly be higher on the list, but I think the front is a little smushed. It's modified enough where it doesn't just feel like a straight up variant of the 89 Batmobile. It's like more compact and sportier and a little tamed down. So I really like this one. I just wish the front didn't look so gutted out. But yeah, cool. Number 7. I really like this one. This is appeared in Batman number 9. It has the spirit and the energy of the 89 in the animated series, but there's so much going on. It's very bird-like. It's like a gargoyle mobile. Just like the original Batmobile, from like the 1940s. This one feels very gargoyle-y, where it's sleek but also like bizarre and menacing, which I really like. I don't think there's another Batmobile quite like this one. Number 6, maybe, is this beast. Very reminiscent of... this was first appeared in Batman Incorporated number 6. I love this one. I think this would be higher for me if it were a little bit more recognizable as a Batmobile. This could kind of function in anything. I don't know. This looks like it could be from Blade Runner. But there is enough going on where it's like, yeah, this is some cool, like, alternate universe Batman Deathmobile. Yeah, this was probably inspired by the Tumbler, but I like this better. because it still has the, you know, the general profile of an actual car. Number five. Number five is this Mamma Jamma. It's just, yeah, look at the front. Like, they didn't even try to hide it. It's just like a growly demon. You can't really see what's going on with the windshield, but you can see enough going on that I just really like what's happening here. This is from Legends of the Dark Knight, number 95. It's got that classic 89 sort of, that flat, long, sleek, beastly look to it, but there's enough variation, like, because you don't really quite often get the hood scoop on the Batmobile, so this one's a bit like the, like a hot rodded out version of like his late 80s, early 90s sort of futuristic space mobile with like the Norm Brayfogle Batmobile. Like this is that on steroids with little hints of Anton Furst in there. Number four. It's this, Alex Ross's Justice Mobile. This is a work of art. It's beautiful. Like the front nose is the fuselage is a little on the nose, where it feels a little too pulled from like an Art Deco train, but it's almost perfect. Like this screams Batmobile without even having like the giant fins on it. It just looks like a perfect alternate universe version of the Tim Burton mobile. And I would love to see this used in some kind of, if Batman ever goes back to a more stylistic take on it instead of just guy punching people on the streets. Number 4 or 3, I don't know, I've lost count. But next, a more futuristic take. Absolutely love this. This is by Gene Ha. I really like his artwork. This was done for the Get Caught Reading poster campaign, where this appears in the background with Batman sitting there with his legs up in the Batcave, blah, blah, whatever. This is in the background. And this is the only time this has ever appeared. This is a beautiful work of art. It's futuristic, but doesn't look like it's from quite... It still looks like it can function within, like, main continuity Batman. This is so cool. I don't love the giant wheel boxes in the rear, but it works for some reason. It makes sense that Batman would have, like, his tires well guarded or something, you know, or that's where he keeps Robin stuffed in the, you know, keeps his Robin stuff in there. Number 2, or possibly number 2. This beast from the Batman Archives trading card by Tony Rodriguez from 2008. This is so cool. It's just not really changing up much with like the OG formula. It's just leaning into it. Like if Gomez Adams was fucking Batman, like this is what he would drive. It's just so confidently bizarre. Those are kind of the Batmobiles that I love the most, are just, they embrace some of the silliness and the theatricality, but they're still scary. And that's what I really love about this one. And number 1, and my arm's getting tired. Oh, that's not it. Number 1, there's these 3 variants. I couldn't really track down like an analog to it in the comic books. But these are toys made by 3 different companies, Corgi, Carrera, and someone else. But there's that one, this one, and I like the middle one the best. Like this is my favorite Batmobile of all time. It's futuristic and sleek, but still looks scary and durable. But it, like I said before, it also embraces the silly theatricality. So I like the idea of there being some silliness to it, like a silly badassness to this. Of like, this dude is confident enough to drive around in this with like a picture of, you know, his face is a battering ram, and then just like all this superfluous crap all over the Batmobile. That's why I've always kind of liked the Killing Joke Batmobile. I think it looks ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. But there's something super cool about Batman just showing up to a serious life or death situation in something that's stupid looking. I'm not saying this looks stupid. I think this looks legitimately awesome, but there's just hints of the camp in there. And for me, that's kind of the Batman character. Like it's future thinking and technologically ahead of the curve, way ahead of the curve because he's rich as shit. But there's also something sinister and gothic about it, of course. And that's why I love this one. Here are a few other notable Batmobiles. This is my favorite goofy Batmobile. This one. This is from Batman Haunted Gotham. This is a work of art. The artist is... don't know, you can look it up, but that is just, you know, something else. And then this thing, which looks like sad and decrepit, it looks like if a good Batmobile threw up a slightly less good Batmobile, there's something like sickly and sinister about it. Like this is a drunk Batman that's gonna run you over on the way to like try to save an old lady. Here's from Old Lady Harley. It's I like this hybrid that you don't really see that much, where it's just a perfect synthesis of like a Tumbler beast mobile, but also a sports car. I don't really. The front is a little like Chrysler-y. That's another thing you have to watch out for is like making sure the headlights aren't too slick or modern looking. It needs to look like it can drive through a wall, but still sporty. Like that is the fine line. Here's some toys. Which one was... okay. Here's a slight variation of like the popular Batmobile from the 2000s. So that's that. It's basically the same as like, you know, the Hot Rod Batman car that was popular. And that one seems to be just a slight variant of it. And this turd right here could be anything. Could be from like a Fallout game, but I just like the design. And finally, from the Batman Owner's Manual. It's so simple. There's almost something cute about it. It's just very utilitarian and to the point. And I really like it. You don't get a lot of Batmobiles like this. It's very slim, like the animated series Batmobile, but just has a little extra flourishes here and there and does its own thing with the lines and the contours. Can't really see what's going on the side. If you could, it would probably be on like my top 15 of these. Anyway, Batman, yay. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.